Hey everybody, and welcome to Fire Mission Over's very special series, Be a Better Person. My name is Bruiser.
And I'm Lazarus.
And today we're going to be checking out a video from 19 Who Cares about media and communication.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to make fun of it because we're a couple rowdy boys.
Rowdy. Feeling
That's
rowdy.
Rowdy boys. Rowdy boys.
Rowdy boys.
Here we go.
Today, on the People's Court, he shouted racial slurs at her dog, and now she's seeking restitution. I wouldn't call it working. Oh, great. 20 minutes of people explaining why they couldn't make it in business school.
Well, I was in between jobs.
My mustache had just fired me.
One of those situations where I said to myself, what am I going to do with, the rest of my life?
Other than watching Welcome Back, Kotter.
I got on the telephone and I started calling different places looking for a job.
Oh.
A full day of calling. It finally dawned
Nearly
on me
got abducted there.
the instrument that I was using all day is something
A
that
theremin?
we all need, that we all use. That's when I called the telephone company, and they told me to come down and put in an application.
Yes, you too can be guided to a thrilling career in telecommunications through desperation.
In the morning, we all gather in the garage.
And we discussed last night's episode of Welcome Back, Kotter.
We all took our apple boxes and loaded them up in our vans for a long day of apple picking.
Throughout the day. And once you pick those work orders up, you're your own boss.
No, you're not.
You're on your own. And that's one of the things that I like about my job, the independence. You're never in the same place more than one day. And I like to change the scenery.
Yeah, but all the scenes are in New Jersey.
That I can go anywhere in the world. And
I wasn't aware that the Bayonne, New Jersey utility district had a global
of
presence.
telephones. Because no matter where you go in the world, people have telephones.
Yes, surely the home phone business will never ever slow down.
Done in an unfinished home. When you first enter the building, you'll
realize that it's empty and unfinished,
it's only
like
rough,
my dreams.
which means that you'll find wood studs.
Or studs with
The
wood.
object of the pre-wire is to loop wire to different
Wes destroys yet
jacks
another home by confusing
in
a screwdriver and his
different
hammer.
rooms. A jack is the instrument that you plug the telephone in so that it works.
Does he
Being an
jack in every
installer,
room?
You meet a lot of people. You meet
Hey,
people
my
from
name's
all
Wes,
walks
and
of
I'm
life.
looking for that special
From the
someone. So if you
Indian
like
chief
what
to
you
the
see,
candlestick
hit Star West on your
doctors,
keypad
lawyers,
now.
Movie stars.
Oh, movie stars. Why, I once met John Travolta and made him do the Barbarino song.
Go into someone's home. and
Yes,
they're
but I can only cross the threshold if they invite me in.
enough to let me into their home.
Oh, that's why it doesn't work. It's not plugged in, Wes.
I noticed that some of the... At that point, you are the company. Hanging.
Until you declare yourself as a sovereign citizen.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't have to have
This guy looks like he climbs a lot of poles.
to a racquetball
Hey.
club,
He's climbing
tennis
poles.
club, or swim club because I get my physical exercise on the job.
Yeah, I threw away my
And I
copy of Jane
enjoy
Fonda's
being
workout.
in the
Let me just
physical
barehand these
condition.
wires.
You're up about between 20 and 30 feet. We do have poles up to 50 feet. And again, as you're going up, you always have to be careful of the guy wires. Other
What
wires
about the
that are
lady
up there,
wires, you
especially
patriarchal
electric, because
scum?
We do have electric on top of the telephone poles.
Hey, Adam West,
That's
how's
one
the
of the
film
reasons
editing
why you
going?
wear the hard.
Hey, it's me, Wes.
Once you're
Just
up
want to
there,
say I had a
there's
great
no
time in your
problem.
basement.
It's getting up and coming back down that is the biggest problem. Yeah, Jeff, this is Wes.
I'm
We
stuck
say
on this
best
pole.
seat in the house. Okay, that's the 820. I would say one of the biggest challenges
What was the 820?
of the job. Hi,
I am required by the state of New Jersey to notify you that I am a registered sex offender. Now let's check out those connection issues.
And actually, it's almost like being an artist, because what you take into consideration is the location of the pole, where it
Oh,
will
Wes
hit
is
the
going to get
house,
Delta House put
how
on double
that
secret
wire will
probation.
look coming down the side of the house and into the basement.
I just don't get this
And once it's
avant-garde
in the
performance
basement,
art stuff. I'll be
mounting
honest.
the
Is
telephone
this the art?
equipment in the
Or is
basement
the latter the art?
and running those wires
Weird
to the
Al?
various
Nope,
jacks in the
nope.
house.
Still Gabe Kaplan.
So
You know,
that
Mr. Cotter.
What we call.
Oh, let me just try it out here. Yeah.
Or
Oh, hey, hello.
picture
No.
perfect.
Okay, they hung up.
I want to
I don't know.
be able to
Here, you
do
try it.
and place that telephone anywhere that they want. I want to make them happy. That's my job.
Yeah.
Well, that and obsessing over Welcome Back Cotter.
Who is the man that teaches inner city high school youth? Cotter. You're damn right. The humble beginnings of the electronic music scene.
One of the guys behind the scenes to make sure that
We're in love.
Dick Miller with the Action 5 News team with the power of 5 live radars.
things of that nature.
Why are they on the set of an old sci-fi movie?
Yeah, I had no idea that they did the evening news live from the control room of the Point Beach nuclear power plant.
We use the color bars for setting up our videotape machines.
Wow, I honestly didn't know this was in color.
Broadcasters. In dealing with problems associated with equipment and circuitry, we use
With my children, too.
Equipment. Most of the stations have plenty of different types of test equipment available, both for audio testing and video to tape testing
Oh, man.
procedures.
They know how to get
The tape
kids excited in
machines
careers in
have a lot of
media with
self-diagnostic,
troubleshooting and
circuits,
popes.
that enable you to troubleshoot problems. Some of the skills that have to be developed.
Yeah, let's
figure
just
out
solder these
what
to
is
the
happening in
board.
the
Just
amplifier,
right on there.
what
That'll work.
component failed, and you have to have some manual dexterity too to remove.
His hands are normal
components,
sized. I don't get what all the
solder.
hubbub is about.
You have to have a good eye for.
You know
finding
what?
Some of the small problems that
I
occur,
think the
whether
nice
it be a
people at the
busted
mall
wire
hooked me
or
up to
bad
one of these
solder joint
bad
or
boys
something
and gave
like
me
that.
a free copy
You
of
have to analyze
Dianetics one
circuitry,
time.
learn how to read schematics. The video engineer has to have a good eye for color. He has to be able to discern between many different shades of colors and the saturations in the color portion of the picture.
Various shades
Television
of
isn't just
gray.
pretty pictures. Television is high quality audio. And part of the engineer's job is to make sure that the audio matches the video as far as quality.
And the other part is to patch in some laugh tracks for Chuck Lorre.
The color bars pattern, which is used at the head of all our programs for reference. The audio portion is similar. We use a oscillator.
No, don't hit the scram button.
Calibrated to 1,000 cycles.
Oh, God, no, why?
We use this for reference
No.
for all our equipment.
I think he just sent out an EAS message to the greater Milwaukee area.
Most of the people that are working in broadcasting have got experience in small stations, either in high schools, college level.
And they endlessly remind you about their podcasts.
And, most of the engineering people have gone to either technical school or a vocational school for learning the basics of broadcasting. If you want to get into broadcasting, first thing you have to do is get
Come
some
along, R2.
basic courses down in electronics. Vocational schools are offering courses in electronics. And
Yeah, you gotta go to a vocational school to
communications
rewind
courses in
tape.
college. A lot of people, after high school, they get into the military for their training, and that is an excellent source of information and training for electronics. It's amazing how many things that we take for granted in broadcasting. Everybody
Baby snakes.
You have meddled with the primal
turn
forces of
the set
nature,
on, and
Mr.
there it is.
Beale.
Away we go. The program just comes out the down the antenna wire, and we see a
I'll
whole
just
program.
dribble out there
But really, there's so many
weekly.
things that make up
When
a
wife
show,
looks at you.
both in the recording and the transmission. Technology is just exciting today. It's almost mystical to have pictures come through the air and appear at your
I
TV.
wonder how
set.
this guy handled Wi-Fi.
Good God. Too hot in the hot tub. Gonna make you sweat. Good God.
I like to be teachers.
Yeah, nope, just get that right out of here. None of that.
I always think that an editor really makes the film.
I like to
They have all
immortalize
the footage
people's
that the
final
director
moments on
and the
camera.
cameraman and all the rest of the people in production has provided him. And he has to make it work. He has to put it together, make it flow.
Oh, a strong chin on this one.
Even though you might
Yep,
have a
I'm gonna
full
cut
script
Seth
in
Rogen
front
out of
you,
film history here.
what looks good on paper
Like my haircut.
sometimes just doesn't come out right on
Like
film.
my
So as
haircut.
an editor, you have to turn it around a little bit and change it so that it looks believable on the
It
screen.
works on a conceptual level.
This thing what I'm working on here is it's an editing console.
Ugh.
And
Console peasantry.
piece of equipment because used to have to use a set of rewinds. And,
It's a beautiful piece of equipment because it
made it a little
contains
bit
the
difficult
souls of
because-
the damned.
As you're probably aware, the film runs at 24 frames per second, and it's
Yeah,
difficult
24
to-
frames. You
to
hear that,
wind
Peter
it at that
Jackson?
speed. And this thing runs at 24 frames per second, which means that I hear the sound correctly. The other nice thing about it is the fact that I have two sound heads, so I can go ahead and add another track. Say, for example, I might be putting sound effects on here, and I have the opportunity
Just
to
put that on there.
actually, add music at the same time.
Round it up.
I attended Boston University, where I got a degree in audiovisual communications.
And now I'm the
And I
paragon
found
of
that
raw sexuality that sits before you
the
today.
real creative craft of filmmaking, and that's what I was interested in. So I went ahead and
became Adam West from Zombie
pursued the
Nightmare.
field, and I was fortunate. I was able to land the job immediately upon graduation.
As Adam West in
And,
Zombie
of
Nightmare?
course, some of the things I had to do at first were kind of menial tasks, but
Fluffing?
the organization saw that I was relatively a creative person. I could make things work on the screen. He gave
You know,
me the
ironically,
opportunity to do
I
some
think that the thing this
Yeah,
film
okay.
needs most is an editor.
Yeah, I'm on the bus scene now.
Oh, hey, Mr. Cotter, how's the
Yeah,
phone
well,
install
You
business?
know, as the director,
Yeah, up in the pole? Yeah.
you have to do me a little favor. I'm going to need
you get
some,
stuck up there again?
cricket sounds, because, as you know, when I have to work with other people, it sometimes is a little bit difficult to share.
I don't really pick up on emotional cues and understand social mores.
Because the other person with whom you may be working, either it be the client or the director, although I have few problems with directors because that's why they choose to work with me, because we think very much alike, so that there's very little conflict often.
Hail me as your
But sometimes
philosopher
the
God
client
King
is
film
involved
world.
If it's an industrial film, or if
What about if it's a snuff
TV
film?
commercial.
Something that he probably
And,
knows many
we
things
have
about.
somewhat different tastes. I'm not saying that theirs is wrong and mine is right, but
But let's be
I often
real
have
here.
to give in. But
he needs better
sometimes,
blinds.
again, there is compromise. They'll listen to me. They'll listen to some of my ideas, and we can
Nope,
kind of come
nope.
to a
Throw it all
to an
away.
agreement
I
as
will
to,
not submit
what
the
might
world
be
to
best
Love
for a
Guru 2.
particular
Nope.
sequence or a particular film. Some people think that, that the whole job is probably
And
not
some people
enjoyable
think
because
that I'm not
you're
employable in the
often
least.
alone, sitting there at the editing console. Few people are around, but I never feel that because
Hello,
kind of I'm creating something's coming to life almost in front of my eyes as I splice footage together, and to me it isn't lonely at all. The film is keeping me company.
How is
Of
he
course,
convincing that it
I think
isn't
the most
lonely? Because it kind of
satisfying
sounds
part
like
of
he's
my
convincing
job is
himself.
to, actually see the film come alive. And a lot of times people say,
Al,
well,
stop
really,
taking
it's the
Polaroids up
doing
my skirt.
that's
You
the
smell
most
like butt
satisfying,
seeds.
and it is satisfying for me to be making films. But I still have a great deal of satisfaction when I see the thing completed and on the screen, and especially if everything works the way I had foreseen it or close to it. And it's like not only giving birth to a baby, but seeing it grow up.
And being disappointed by moving back in with its
Often
family at
I'm
32.
involved in social documentaries that
I also post
try to
extensively on
change people's
4chan.
opinions about many things.
Like
And
getting
if I'm
jobs in
creating
communications and media.
And and the film does eventually have an effect on a lot of people.
No, it doesn't.
I have a great
Yeah,
deal of
I'm
satisfaction.
sure your bus safety video for the Loma Linda Unified School District is going to touch a lot of people. Today on People's Court, upskirt Polaroids.
Historically, photojournalists.
You know, this
were
is
in the
what I like to
business of
see.
documenting
Women
what
dominating in a
human doing in this
traditionally
environment,
male
taken to the
industry.
moment.
I just think it's really
In the
positive.
tradition
Oh,
of that, I
Oh, hey, it's
still
Billy
do
D. Williams. Oh, it is Lando. That's
I look
him.
at myself a lot as a sociologist with a camera. Instead of using a questionnaire, I use a camera. My
Yes, work it.
responsibility is essentially
Work
is
it,
to illustrate
fireman.
what
You're
the
hot.
Give me
Hotter than the
rescue.
fire.
Give me
to do stories on.
fully
My
involved
job
structure
is trying
fire.
to document visually what the reporters are talking about. When I first come in every morning, the thing that I have to do
I always
is
wondered what Lando's
find
origin
out
story
what is
was. This is
happening
great.
in the city for that day that needs possible photo coverage.
This looks like the
So I go and I
Eddie
get
Murphy
from the
sketch where he
assignment
plays a
of
white
the
guy.
stories I'll be covering that day. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two, sometimes it's three.
How you doing?
All right, Arthur. What's going on? Today's
All right,
assignment
listen,
is
Wes,
to
you've
go
got to stop
and
using
to
press credentials
take
to get into
photographs
massage
of high
parlors,
school
okay?
children being
It's the third time
administered
this week.
Inoculations by the health department.
Give me a shot on the radio, two-way radio, when you get there and see how it's shaping up.
Okay.
Oh, and get me pictures of Spider-Man.
The tools of my trade is the camera. The fundamental accessory I need is film. 35 millimeter
And a hammer.
film.
Oh, you
I
put
use
film
two
in
lenses.
those?
I use a wide-angle lens, and I use one telephoto lens. That's what I work with.
The 35mm Nikon, the greatest camera ever made.
Good, strong arms. Hold them up there. I can't see them.
Before autism.
The difficulty about this morning was trying to let the personality of the moment surface. And I see photographs much like steam coming off of water. They surface. They surface at their own time and at their own rate.
Now,
Because I
I'm pretty
think
sure
photography
steam
for me essentially
rising
is
from
heading
water
people
is
off at the
pretty easy
past.
to predict.
How do you
You see, it's a function of the
something
temperature of
and
the water and the
position
air,
yourself
as
so
well
that
as the
you're in
atmospheric
right place
pressure.
at the right
Oh,
moment
yeah,
when that
you
thing
get it.
comes along.
New York Times.
All right, I'm looking for a 7-letter word across, capital
What
of
makes a good
Estonia.
photojournalist is definitely someone who can pay attention to
talent.
who's,
Ah,
what,
got
where,
it.
why. But also someone who has, I think, an intuitive feeling of compassion, or who can get inside a subject and who can really drain it for all it's worth.
Yeah, those probably are not the best word choices when doing a story on kids there, Lando.
You're going to come through like a champ. Like a champ. Show them how they're supposed to take it, Bridget. You got to take it in both arms? Oh, that's
100%
great.
of
Come
the
on.
time, it works every
Hey,
time.
go ahead on, Bridget. Go ahead on, Bridget.
Relax, no.
Big time, Bridget here. Relax, Bridget.
Relax your arm. Don't snatch away, okay? Because you snatch away, you cut yourself.
You're going to have one.
That's it for that one.
Bridget, you're not going to cry, are you?
They want to fix
Okay, now everyone say measles, mumps, and rubella booster.
Doing great, Bridget.
One approach to getting in photography is to take courses and go through school, or another approach is the way I did it.
Is to take it from the souls
attach
that I've
yourself
captured on
into
film.
in a mentor relationship. I was lucky that there was another photographer who lived in the same town where I went to school, who was a much older
Who
person
took
who did
great pictures of
photographs that I
Spider-Man.
also liked, and I felt that I could learn from him.
He groomed me,
Because he could
showed me
teach
a world
the
of ecstasy I could
fundamentals
only
need
dream
at the
of.
time. I need the fundamentals of learning how to make sure that all of my exposures came out, of knowing the difference between different cameras and how they work.
I feel like this is going to be a watch
Another thing
commercial
that I
every
get a
time he does
chance
that
to do
pose.
is looking for what I call day art. And
It's
day
art that's in the
essentially is
daytime.
trying to capture and
Of
photograph
Surly Sea
the
Captains.
meaning of the day.
I wanted
or how
Ernest
people
Hemingway,
use
and you
that
gave
day.
me
It might be a
Borgnine.
rich person, it might be a poor person, it might be a woman, might be a child, whatever it is.
Jeff
it's
Lynne
something
playing
that
chess.
is common to all of us, and we all have a feeling for, and I try to show that. When I return from the field taking my photographs of the stories of the day,
And
the first
Spider-Man.
thing I have to do is process the film. After that's done, I then edit the film on a light box. I take the whole roll out and I look at it from frame to frame, and I pick out the strongest images on those frames that I think really tells the story. I then notch those particular negatives that I want to have prints made, and then a printer, another document technician, takes those negatives, go and make
these are
prints
just garbage.
and contacts.
Look, ugh, it's terrible. You
Taking
really are a bad
photograph is not
photographer.
everything in this field. You can be a good printer, you can be a good developer, and people should shop around and find what's best for them.
This turned out pretty nicely for a
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
See that burn the top of the head and everything else?
Thank you.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah, terrible.
When the prints come back, I then
Dear
look at the
Adam
prints
West and
I type
Mr.
out the
Cotter,
caption
can you
material.
please
That's
include me in your
information
phone
for
gag?
editors,
I would
the work
really like to
people
get that
outside,
in
to tell
before
them
my
exactly
transfer
who,
to
what,
Cloud
where,
City.
and
Yours,
why.
Lando.
At that point,
just go
the
ahead and
caption
shred
material
these.
is put on the back of the
And that
prints.
one.
I then take the
And
prints
shred
out
that
to
one.
the respective editors.
This one?
Get a memo today.
Give me pictures of
John
Spider-Man.
Berniak is the picture editor.
Instructing your conversation.
And John's most important concern is A1.
He's
what
getting
does the
pictures of
cover
Spider-Man.
of the newspaper look like. So it's important to get a picture to John as soon as possible before
He
the
dies of throat
5
cancer.
o'clock meeting when these decisions are being made. There are a lot of great things about being a photographer here because you never know what to expect.
He's on his
from
way
day
to a
day.
Panther
The
meeting.
high point is when a photograph that you do care about does get a big display.
Satisfactory.
And it's used very
I
well
accept
on paper.
this.
And I think that's very exciting.
And everyone, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that Mr. Cotter found a second life as a telephone repairman. We learned that the evening news was filmed on a cheap sci-fi set. And we learned that Peter Parker has one hell of a tan. On behalf of Lazarus, my name is Bruiser, and this has been another installment of Be a Better Person.